Are you an independent musician who wants more Spotify streams for your music? You want to reach more fans in a targeted way? You need to know about this new epic tool to lock in the right Spotify playlists, reach more fans with your music, and have the best streaming release day yet. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what the tool is, demo it working, and share my screen so that you can see all of the super powerful functionality, and explain how you can use this tool as part of your music marketing strategy for your music business. Let's go! Hello everybody and welcome back to this channel. So we all know that Spotify is a behemoth when it comes to independent musicians getting their music out to a much wider audience. But for independent musicians who don't yet have a big audience to get the ball rolling on Spotify, Spotify playlists are a way of getting your music out to a super targeted and curated list of people who you already know are gonna like that type or genre of music. The problem has always been, in the past, finding playlists who A, have your target audience in it, and B, finding the contact information for those curators or playlist curators so that you can pitch to them, and C, finding playlists which are actually authentic and not full of bots, because that can hurt your chance of success on the platform. Playlist Supply is not only a new tool which helps independent musicians find super targeted Spotify playlists, but it also helps you see a ton of data points which give you incredibly powerful information about the playlists themselves. And it allows you to search for email addresses, social media contact info, and more in real time. Now, I am not being paid to show you this. I have no affiliate link. I have just seen this tool working, and I can totally see the value that it could bring to independent musicians. So without further ado, let's jump straight in so that you can see what I'm talking about and see if Playlist Supply is a tool that you can use for your music moving forward. So this is the Playlist Supply website. It's got a couple of intro vids at the top here that you can watch, but there's also a really great section, if I scroll down here, where Playlist Supply are trying to help you as independent musicians to know how to pitch to curators in a non-spammy way. And I highly recommend that you look at this before even registering. But in terms of registering, I'm going to go ahead now and register and sign up so you can see the process and just how easy it is. So at the top of the screen, just up here, there is this register button. So when you click on that, it will then take you to the registration page. And it's again, really easy. First name, last name, email, username, and so on. And down here, you can start to choose the genre that is closest to your music, and then we can niche down even further when we get inside the tool. So now we're logged into Playlist Supply and we're ready to go. And this is the tool and it is super straightforward. So as you can see at the box at the top right here, this is where you can start typing in some keywords linked to your genre of music, or even better, your micro niche. And if you need a video on how to find your micro niche, by the way, just type the word micro niche in the comments. But it doesn't have to be a genre that you type. You could type in things like TikTok, you could type in things like workout, any of those things that have anything to do with your genre or genre of music, happy, sad, emo, any other words that could be good descriptors of your music and the type of playlist that you want to come up. So then in the contacts box here, you can search from a drop-down menu and the type of contact information that you want, from email addresses to Instagram info, and you can even search on this similar artist, which is just wild, because if you search for a similar artist, then you know that the playlist coming up will feature artists with music that sounds like yours or similar to yours. And so the people listening to those playlists will be far more likely to want to listen to and enjoy your music as well. So I'm going to go ahead right now and type in a genre that I think fits with me personally. You could write in hip hop, electro pop, lo-fi, like literally anything. And I want to find... Let's do email for now and see. So I'm just going to press the search button. And now what's going to happen is Playlist Supply are going to go over to Spotify and suck in all the information that it needs. Now, at this point, it's probably important to tell you that this is not a database. Playlist Supply is a real-time tool, which essentially sucks in the information directly from Spotify. And when Spotify updates, playlist supply info updates too. So once you have your search criteria dialed in, hit search like I have, and the tool will take a few seconds to pop over to Spotify for you and suck in all the playlists which fit your search criteria. And as you can see now, we've got 49 playlists that have come back on this keyword of singer-songwriter, and I'm looking for emails in particular because that's what I need. That's the information I need to want to potentially pitch my music to those curators. Now, if we scroll down here, now you can see we've got the name of the actual playlist. It's a clickable link as well. So what I could do is click on that and it will open a new tab of that playlist specifically on Spotify. But you can also see here that's really important information. So how many followers each of the playlists has got, how many tracks it's got on, the popularity score, I'll come back to that in a second, when it was last modified, and so on and so forth. The owner's name specifically, it's always good to have an actual name. And then look at this over here. Look at all these email addresses. So what does all this information mean? Okay, so followers is pretty self-explanatory. It is the amount of followers each playlist has. You won't necessarily want to pitch to playlists which don't have a lot of followers since not many people are listening. But equally, if a playlist has got 100,000 followers, it might be tricky to pitch to such a playlist when you're starting out. Which brings me on to this here, which is the popularity score. This number goes from 0 to 100, and it's super important to pay attention to this number. So the closer the number is to 0, the smaller the artists are on that playlist, which you would think if you're starting out, that will be a good thing, right? The closer the number is to 100, the bigger the artists are, which would make it difficult to pitch to playlists with huge mainstream musicians on when you're just starting out. So this number gives you intel on the types of musicians on your playlist so that you can then decide whether pitching to that playlist is worth your time. This here, the date last modified, is also super important because it tells you how recently the playlist was changed and how active the music is rotated there. So this one here says 0 days ago. That actually means that it was updated today. So that playlist has got some recent action and it could be a good one to pitch to. Now, at this point, it's probably worth mentioning that there is a second search bar to help you filter out the first set of playlists that you found, which is super useful. So this could be useful if you've searched at the top here for pop music or, like me, singer-songwriter, but then you want to pitch to playlists who have a workout focus, or maybe you're a hip-hop artist and you want to fuse the genre with jazz. This is how you can do that to narrow down your search even further to fit your music and increase the chances that your music will be a good fit for the playlist. So one thing to do before starting with playlist supply is to create this list of keywords around your music so that when you start searching using this tool, you already have a bank of keywords that you can use and mix and match and play around with. But for now, let's have a quick look at what this might look like. So you can see that I've got 49 playlists that have popped up, which is not a huge amount, but it's okay. But what about if I want to drill down a little bit more? So I often get compared to artists like KT Tunstall. So as you can see, that's now brought up 0 entries. So let's go something different. So I play guitar. So what about singer-songwriter playlists that have guitar in? And as you can see, this is really niche down now. Now, in terms of followers of these playlists, it's not very many. So that doesn't look super useful to me right now. So what I might want to do is put chill out. So I've got chill out vibes. And you can see here, there's a few more followers, but not too many still. So now I'm fusing my singer-songwriter genre with a bit of country or country pop in, which is kind of my vibe. I know, it's niche. But now I've got a couple of playlists here that have got a few more followers. They've got a decent amount of tracks on. The popularity score is pretty good. And I'm going to talk to you in a minute about what I call the sweet spot. But for now, you can see that I've got an email address over here that I could pitch to. So that's kind of good. But what I can do over here in the second search is I can keep changing my keywords and mixing them up. I could also probably put country up here and then put singer-songwriter down here. You can interchange them and that will bring up different searches and different results. Now, I've just cleared out my search to show you this other tool that you can use, or this other search criteria. So I've got my keyword of singer-songwriter back in again, but what I've searched for on the criteria is nothing. Now, this seems like it could be a waste of your time, but this is actually super useful because even if the playlist doesn't have their contact info, you could then manually look up their social media info on, say, Instagram or TikTok or some other platform. Now, why is this helpful? I'm just going to press search as I'm talking to you here so that you can see the difference this makes. So it only takes a few seconds to populate, as you can see. But if you have to do a little bit more work to find the contact info, you can bet your bottom dollar that the playlist will not be as pitched to or as oversubscribed as those who have got the contact information in here, which will then increase your chances of a successful pitch. So when reaching out to curators, it's best not to simply ask to be added to their playlist straight off the bat, because if you do, they're probably going to reply with, okay, here's my PayPal link. And it's much better if you try and build a relationship with the curator and try to explain your vision as an artist, explain the vision of the track that you're trying to put there, get the curator invested in you as an artist, and they're more likely to add your track to their playlist. In addition to this, think about how your track, your music, you as an artist can add value to their playlist. So maybe you could give a social media shout out. Maybe you could showcase some of the merch if they have any of that. Maybe you could create a reel or a TikTok or a tweet showcasing the link to the playlist so that you bring something to the table too, and you've got something to offer. Maybe even offer a meet and greet with you so that they can give away that as a prize to some of their followers, or VIP tickets to a show. But try not to just go for the pitch and start relationships first. Now have a look at this. So these are the results that have come back from searching on the criteria of nothing. And as you can see, there are far more playlists that have popped up. So that's another way of searching for playlists that might not have the email contact info or the social media contact info, but there are still plenty of playlists that you can find and sift and search for this way as well. So now let's talk about something that I like to call the sweet spot. So if you don't have many followers yourself yet on Spotify or even in your fan base, and you're trying to build your audience and you don't know how you could start pitching to playlists, there are a few numbers that you can look out for as a sweet spot when pitching to playlist curators. So what Playlist Supply have recommended you do when you're starting out and finding appropriate playlists is finding playlists which have between 1 and about 15,000 followers and around 50 to 100 tracks, although that's slightly less important, I think, and a popularity score of playlists between 30 and 50-ish, so that there is a balance between bigger artists, but those who are also starting to break through. So if we now have a look, so I have got the keyword here of singer-songwriter, and we're searching the criteria of nothing at the moment. Let's just have a quick flick down here and see what we can see. This is actually not a bad playlist. So we've got just over 1,000 followers. The popularity score is a wee bit high, but it was modified quite recently. So what I might do here is click here to add that to one of the playlists that I'm interested in. If we have another scroll down, I like the sound of that, sound of Neo singer-songwriter. I'd probably at this point click this, hop over to Spotify and have a look actually at who's on that playlist and what the sound is like. But that's not, I mean, it's a bit low in terms of the followers, but it's also got a very low score, and it was updated quite recently. So for me, that would be something that I would probably want to start pitching to. Now here we've got one that looks very interesting. So you've got indie folk, singer-songwriter, mostly acoustic. That sounds like it could be my jam. We've got over 1,000 followers. We've got a decent amount of tracks, a decent popularity score, but it was only updated 1,797 days ago. So the likelihood that they're going to be adding more songs or changing this is kind of low. Another decent one down here, acoustic, live lounge, singer-songwriter. It's got just over 4,000 followers and the popularity score is 40 odd. So I would probably click on there and go and have a look, or add it to my list of playlists that I want to save. Now, once you have found a few of what I like to call your unicorn playlists, you have targeted some playlists on keywords, scores, metadata, and then you can save these playlists to your own database. Now, the way that you do that, you've got them checked at the side, and you can press this button here, save to my playlist data. And as you can see here, Playlist Supply says successfully added data to your cloud database. So that database is stored inside of Playlist Supply if you want to keep everything tidily in one place, or you can actually download your saved playlist as an Excel file, CSV, and PDF. If you want to access the playlist that you've saved, you come up to this tab here where it says My Playlist Database, and you click on that, and you will then see when you log in the playlists that you have saved. Now, the other interesting thing about this is that if you're logging back in a few hours, days, weeks, months later, you can from here press the Update My Playlist button, which is right here. And this makes sure that you have all the up-to-date contact info for these specific playlists, because they will change. And you can update this list once every 24 hours. Now, this is also really interesting because you can then see extra information which tells you whether a playlist is gaining or losing followers, because you'll see a red minus number in parentheses or a green number if they've gained or lost some followers, and you'll see that just here next to the follower count. And it's a super good way to monitor activity over time and give you more intel on which playlists you might actually want to pitch to. Now, for those of you who've been following me for a while, you will know that I am a vehement, passionate supporter of independent musicians finding their own fans, growing and nurturing their own audiences, and monetizing their music in a sustainable way. Spotify doesn't usually feature in my game plan for independent musicians just because of the teeny tiny return on investment, whether that's financial investment or time, which, as we all know, is a very important commodity. But now Playlist Supply has come along and they have tried to solve this problem for independent musicians. So they are 100% going to be able to save musicians time by not having to manually find all of these playlists by yourself, copy and paste the information, keep it in a spreadsheet, and make this such a time-intensive chore. The search functionality, as you can see and as I have demonstrated, is incredible and super fast. Playlist Supply are also trying to save independent musicians money by making this tool and this service a very reasonable $19.99 per month. Now, before you click away, I know that some indie musicians might be going, yeah, Lynz, that's all well and good for you to say, but that's still a lot of money for an independent musician, and I hear you. But the truth of the matter is, Spotify is a great tool for discoverability for your music. Musicians often think that if they get their music onto a big playlist and they blow up and they go viral, that's the goal, but it's not. Spotify is something that can be used as part of your strategy for growth for your music in the long game. So getting your music onto targeted playlists can open your music up to a much larger audience who may then listen to you, come over to your profile there if it's set up properly, follow you on other social media platforms, and start taking those steps to come into your community. It's then your job at that point to know who they are, spot them when they come in, and start nurturing them and building relationships with these individuals as they come in and start growing your community so that you can then monetize that for a long time to come. You do have to invest in your music business at some point to move your career forward. And this is one way that a DIY independent musician can do that at a reasonable price. The Playlist Supply team themselves are super helpful. I have spoken to them myself, and if you have any issues at all, they will get back to you. And they're also looking for awesome new ideas from independent musicians like you who are going to be using the tool so that they can make this one of the best places on the internet for independent musicians to get their music into more Spotify playlists. So how would I recommend using Playlist Supply as part of your strategy to grow your music business? Well, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to plan a bit ahead of time. You're going to want to plan some consistent releases that are going to be coming out. Spotify does reward consistency, so you can use Playlist Supply as part of your overall strategy to grow your music business and attract new fans. And if you would like me to make a new video on that bit specifically, just let me know in the comments and type part 2, please. But if you'd like to watch something in the meantime that will help you understand this process more, click my link in the description to my Monetize Your Music Masterclass, which gives you some super in-depth insights into how you can grow your own music business as an independent musician, find new fans, grow and nurture that audience, and monetize your music. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it if you liked it, subscribe, click the bell to be notified when I release new videos. I hope you find it useful, and let me know in the comments what you think of the Playlist Supply tool. And I will see you on the next video.